Fine. So what we are going to do today, we are going to study first law for flow process. So first law for flow process we'll understand, and if you find any difficulty uh, in getting the concepts, please ask. So basically, as we know, we have already discussed first law of thermodynamics for a closed system and for a process. So first law of thermodynamics remains same, whether it is a flow process or it is a non-flow process. So we have already discussed Q minus W is equal to this, and then Q minus W is equal to this, or summation Q is equal to summation W. Now we'll talk about the first law of thermodynamics or flow process. So generally the flow process, generally our almost almost all engineering devices are flow process system. Like you have a steam engine, gas turbine, compressor, automobile engines, whether it is all cycles, engine cycles. Then you have a heat exchanger, then blower, nozzle, etc. So the first law of thermodynamics for a flow process is having a wide application in the following this: steam turbine, gas turbine, compressor, or engine, or heat exchanger, blower, nozzle, etc. So this flow process, uh, this is an open system, or we call it is a control volume. So here we will concentrate a space, not mass. So here we'll concentrate basically space. We'll concentrate a volume, or we call it is open system. So it is like that you are a river is flowing and you are concentrating particular area, particular volume in the river. So water will come and will go, and you are just sitting here. You are sitting and you are looking what is happening in this control imaginary volume. So we will apply first law of thermodynamics for such devices. So generally it is in a rectangular box is there here, rectangular box, simple box. Try to understand, it is very clear. It is a rectangular box. This I have drawn the picture. So basically it is in a rectangular box. So this is your box, and we have one entry point, we have an exit point, you already know, and then a fluid of mass delta m is entering into this, and at the exit there is a exit also. If it is there is no exit, then mass will accumulate right now. So in a steady flow energy equation, we call it is steady flow. So basically the flow is not time dependent, flow is not time dependent time dependent dependent and means that mass flow change is sorry, it is zero, right? Now, uniform flow, non-uniform flow, steady flow, unsteady flow. So you have different types of flow, in fluid mechanics. We will be studying right now. So steady flow means there is no change of mass with respect to time. When word steady means function of time, and when it is uniform or non-uniform, it is function of space x, y, z, right now. So if anything changes with x, y, z, we call it is non-uniform. Anything that changes with time, we call it is unsteady. If it is time independent, then we call it steady. If it is space independent, we call it uniform. So it our analysis for steady flow energy equation. So steady flow means whatever mass is going, that mass is coming out. But in a real situation, if it is not there, means out, in, so there will be mass accumulation or mass shortage. Anyway, so our analysis is very simple. Nothing is visible. It is not visible. Oh shit, you should have. Wait. Sorry, you should have raised the what you call question before. So now, now the content is visible. Can you see a box? Can you see study first law of flow process? Right. So, okay, once again I explain. We were discussing first law of flow process. I think you all heard about what I said. Whether you heard, it was not visible, but it was audible, right? Okay, fine. So up to this point, I think it is no problem. What quickly I tell you, uh, this is your entry point, and this is your exit point. Right now, so it is in a rectangular box. Now, box is visible. That box is visible to all. Box is visible, right. Yes, fine. Box is visible to all. Okay, so we are going to derive first law of thermodynamics for flow process, right? So what we are taking, a small mass delta m is entering. This is our control volume. 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 This is we call control volume. Here what happens, a small amount, that is delta m mass is entering, and that same mass is coming, right? Now, so you have entry and exit point. So we are going to apply first law of thermodynamics for this system. It is now very clear. It is in a flow device where mass is going, and yes, some mass is entering and some mass is that mass exits, and there is a work interaction, a heat interaction also, right now. So at the entry, c1 is the velocity of fluid, and u1 is the internal energy of the fluid. Internal energy of fluid, and Z1 is your potential datum from where potential energy will be measured. Similarly, for your exit C2, U2, and you have a Z2. This is velocity of fluid. This is exit condition, and this is your entry. This is exit, this is entry. C1 velocity, internal energy, that is your specific internal energy, kilojoule per kg. This is datum, right now. So a mass is coming here. So we will apply first law of thermodynamics, and you know first law of thermodynamics is, this is the thing. First law means this is first law of, this is heat interaction, work interaction, and the sign convention will remain same. So this delta U is your internal energy plus kinetic energy plus potential energy. Basically, a change of internally, change of kinetic energy and change of potential energy. That is there, that we know already. So we will apply first law of thermodynamics for this system, right? First law of for the system. So let us assume the system energy initially. System energy is E dash, means that box energy, we have a fluid inside and the energy is E dash. I mean when there is no flow, when there is no flow. Now delta M amount of fluid is into the system, entering into the system. So that delta M amount of fluid is having velocity C1, internal energy U1, and it is having height Z1. So this much amount of energy is brought by the fluid. So delta M into UN plus C1 square by 2 plus Z1G, means this one amount of energy is brought by the fluid. So E is already there, and now, so total energy of the system when the fluid has just entered, so it is initially, I mean, see, our system is entire system, right? No. So this is our system. This is our system. Our system includes this. I am telling you, it is very, sometime no, people will think it is easy, but no, difficulty is there. This is our system. This is our system. This is our system. System includes this mass also and this mass also. But initially there was no flow, so we took only this. This is the system mass, and when, so this mass delta M amount of mass enter into this, and delta M amount of mass exits. So when mass enters, the energy is, some energy is bought by the delta M. So E is your system energy, and delta M into UN plus energy is bought by the this fluid. So this is our total energy when fluid just entered of the system. Now this delta M of the fluid, is to be pushed, is to be pushed, is to be pushed, right? Now is to be pushed. You think it is closed. It is closed now. It is closed. It is closed. It is closed, right? It is closed. So this much amount of fluid is to be pushed into the system. So how much work is to be done by the work on the system? So this is basically we are displacing the fluid, right? Now we are compressing, we are compressing, we are compressing, or we are pushing into the system. I am telling into the system. So into the system. So if pressure is P1 here, at this point pressure is, I am taking 1, pressure is P1 and specific volume is your V1. The work will be your, this is specific volume, that is meter cube per kg. So work will be P1 V1, right? Now P1, you know, work, displacement work, displacement work, displacement work, because we are displacing the object fluid. So PV, right? Now, so this is your entire volume of the fluid. So P1 into rho 1 V1 into dm, because this is your V. Now this is your V. So specific volume you have to multiply with the mass. So it is negative sign, because we are pushing into the system, means we are doing work on the system. We are doing work on the system, on the system. That's why we are taking it as negative, right? So this is the work on the system. Now same, because steady flow energy equation we are writing, we are assuming same amount of mass is coming out also. So delta m amount of mass is coming out, means system is pushing delta m mass into outside, outside, right? No, so it means system does the work. Now system does the work. So P2 is the pressure at 2. Here pressure, it may be different, right? No, then here, so V2 is your specific volume. So that is P2, this is the amount positive work, because positive work done by the system, because this is the work done by the system. Work done by the system, is equal to P2, that is your pressure at the exit, and the specific volume, and then your mass. And it is positive because we work done by the system. And in this case, because we are compressing the fluid into the system, that's why it was negative. It was negative, right? It was negative. You have to understand it. And so network, if I ask you what is the network interaction, so this work interaction by the system, we are assuming, right? Now it may be zero, or it may be positive, negative. It all depends upon the direction. And this is your positive work done, and this is your negative work done. So net work done, W net, I mean W total, we can say, interaction will be your this. W is your system, if does work, or we system does work, and this is the work done due to flow of the fluid, due to flow of the fluid. So if somebody asks you what is flow work, then simply you say the amount of energy required to push or to make the fluid flow, amount of energy required, that we call flow work. So P is the pressure and V is the volume of liquid that is to be pushed, and the pressure where against which is to be pushed, that is PV, and that we also call flow energy, or flow power, or it is per second, then we call flow power. Now heat interaction remains unaffected, right? Now, so there may be heat interaction, there may not be, but in general we are assuming there is a heat interaction. We are supplying heat from outside, right? So now we'll write our pet first law of thermodynamics, right? Now first law of thermodynamics for the steady flow equation, and that is very simple. Heat interaction minus work interaction is equal to change in energy, means Q minus W is equal to delta E. So work interaction, we know this is our work interaction, and now this is work interaction, and the heat interaction is Q. What is the energy, change in energy of the system at 1 and 2? So we have assumed the first system energy is A, and this much amount of energy is carried, I mean this is energy at 2, right? No, so it is amount is leaving, that amount of energy is leaving, and this is your entering. So change of energy will be your E2 minus E1. So just I have written this, this you remember always, right? Now, so Q minus W, this is your net W, will be equal to that E2 minus this is your E1. And finally, when you, so just Q minus W, this side I have kept, and then this will be cancelled. And finally, when you just little arrangement you will do, you will find that this quantity. I mean, by the definition, you know, U plus PV is your enthalpy. Enthalpy. Enthalpy is equal to internal energy and pressure, and this is the enthalpy is the total energy, or we call total energy. Total energy means you have on a gas, right? Now it is having at some pressure and volume. So what is the enthalpy? Means what is the total heat content? Generally we call it is total heat content. Heat content, and that is H. That is CPT, or we can write U plus PV. U plus PV. So this is your internal energy, this is your pressure, and this is the volume. So we can write this. So just we have combined this internal energy and pressure volume energy right now, and this we compound, and in terms of enthalpy we have written. You have already studied right now. So this in a specific energy term, just dm we divide this here. So specific terms, all small lower cases are specific. Again I am telling you, all lower cases are specific and upper cases are not specific. So finally we got this. You have to remember this. It is very easy. It is generally yes. So when C is equal to 0, Z is equal to same, then we can say Q minus W is equal to S2 minus 1. Means C0 means what? No entry, no entry, nothing, and no exit. It is like closed something. When there is no flow we can say, no flow. When there is no flow, and Z is also same, right? Z is also same, means C1 is equal to C2 is equal to 0, and Z1 is equal to Z2 is same, right? Same. So what we will find that Q minus W is equal to H2 minus H1, means this quantity is 0, this quantity is 0, and this got cancelled. This was cancelled. So Q minus W is equal to H2 minus H1. So this is very important. BBI, I'll say, in case of closed system, the change in a, and suppose again if Q is equal to 0, then minus W is equal to H2 minus H1. So in case of your steady flow energy equation, the work interaction is change of enthalpy, but in case of closed system, it is a change in internal energy. Change in internal energy, that you have to remember. That you have to remember. Q is equal to 0 means there is no heat interaction, so minus W is equal to H2 minus H1 means change in enthalpy will be equal to work done. But in closed system, we know when Q minus W is equal to del U, so that Q is equal to 0, minus W is equal to du. So this is get asked. So it is change of enthalpy, it is change of internal energy. Now some special cases we'll see in real cases, real engineering application of first law of thermodynamics flow process. This is one process called throttling process. It is very important process in a refrigeration cycle. Yeah, I think you must have. It is a very important process where enthalpy remains constant and pressure and temperature changes, right? Pressure and temperature changes. But one more thing, throttling is only, gas cannot be throttled. Always remember, gas cannot be throttled. You cannot throttle gas. You can only throttle whether it is liquid or liquid plus vapor. You cannot throttle gas, because in, I will tell you why you cannot throttle later. But if always you remember that energy or the enthalpy is function of temperature of gas. So enthalpy remains constant means temperature remains constant. It means you cannot reduce temperature by throttling process of gases, but in of liquid you can throttle. So first law of thermodynamics, this is we'll take section 1 this one, this is 2 and this is on a small opening is there, right? And here fluid is flowing. No, compressed gas, no. And you cannot throttle gas. Gas cannot be throttled. Gas who follow this law, you cannot. Any gas that follow this universal gas law, that cannot be throttled. Refer PK Nag, refer PK Nag. Page number I can tell you. Let me check I have or not. But okay, you throttling process, right? I generally follow PK Nag. PK Nag is good for the guys who know basics. Okay, I will send. That is okay. Anybody? What is that? Sir, is the pressure temperature after throttling process? Okay, good. I will answer you. First, let me complete this. So you have here what you find that Z1 is equal to Z2, same, and then here diameter of the pipe here and here is same, d diameter, so d1 diameter, d2 diameter. It means velocity c1 is equal to c2, and also during this process there is no heat and work interaction. Heat and work interaction is also zero. W is equal to 0 and Q is equal to 0, because if you are taking this as a system, and a system right now, this is your system and this is your entry point, this is your exit point, right now. So it is in a same level, same velocity, because diameter is same, and but work interaction is, there is no work interaction, because raising of weight, nothing is happening. Raising of weight, raising of weight, by this process you cannot raise the weight. Raising the weight, raising of weight is not there. Then no heat in transfer, because that in this there is no heat transfer also, means Q is equal to 0. So that our first law of thermodynamics will reduce to this H1 minus H2, right? So we'll write this Q minus W is equal to, right? Q minus W is equal to where H2 minus H1, this everything is 0, so 0 plus 0, right? No, so everything, so it will be H2 minus H1. So the process we call throttling is a constant enthalpy process, and we call it is enthalpy process or constant enthalpy process. Constant enthalpy process. Constant enthalpy process. But here, what is my doubt? How how temperature and pressure reduces in the process. Tell me, anybody, intelligent guy, all are intelligent, please tell me where pressure and temperature reduces after throttle. Why pressure and temperature reduces when enthalpy is constant, total heat is constant? If temperature decreases, means enthalpy should decrease. Anybody? No. Right? This throttling process main application, as I said, in a refrigeration. It is in a refrigeration vapor compression cycle. So basically, throttling application to cool to cool ठंडा करने के लिए, right? Not to cool, and it is used generally in a refrigeration or we vapor compression cycle. Vapor compression cycle. If you remember the cycle, just I draw what happens. If you remember the vapor compression cycle, it is a reverse of Rankine cycle where what happens, here it is a 1 or 2, 3, 4. This is your solid, liquid plus vapor and your vapor, right? This is called saturated line. So this is I am drawing R134A, refrigerant gerund that is used, or we can say R410A or R22, right? What happens? 1-2 process is your compression process. So first, what happens? Uh, Low temperature. It will be something like 5 degree minus 5 degree centigrade, or even 500 degree centigrade or 2 degree centigrade. Very low pressure and temperature. Very low pressure and temperature. Very low pressure and temperature. Refrigerant comes, and you have your what you call uh, fish that is to be cooled or storage. It takes heat and finally gets heated, and finally here vapor vapor at a high pressure is formed because this is at higher pressure, right? It is same pressure or higher pressure. It is basically it is having constant temperature line right now, constant temperature line, and it is having higher pressure, and now this is compressed again, and it reaches more than ambient temperature. Suppose your ambient temperature is 30 degrees centigrade, this will be 40, some 40 or 50, so that that refrigerant can lose heat to ambient. Why we are compressing? Why we are raising temperature? Why we are doing work done? Why we are raising the temperature? Because at higher temperature only that refrigerant can lose heat to ambient. So it will lose heat to ambient, and finally this is your condenser, and this is the evaporator, and this is your compressor, as I said. Then it will be your latent heat phenomena. Here all vapor will be converted into liquid. So here liquid, it will be your at 40 degrees centigrade but low pressure, and now this liquid will be throttled. So this dotted line is called throttling process. In throttling process, what happens? This is your complete liquid, but this is your liquid plus vapor mixture. So some part of liquid converted into vapor. To convert you need energy, and that energy is taken from the liquid. Then liquid temperature will go down because it is an isoenthalpic process, H2 minus H1. So in this H2 you have a two energy. One is your liquid plus vapor, and here H1 you have only liquid. So some part of this liquid will be converted into vapor, and because there is no heat interaction, no work interaction, so this vapor will form. How that requires some energy. So this vapor will take energy of this liquid, and finally this liquid temperature will go down. So here a mixture of because it is your mixture, right? Now vapor plus that refrigerant vapor plus liquid mixture will form, and that will be at very low pressure and low temperature. Low pressure, low temperature. So gas cannot be throttled because gas is not liquid, and gas function of energy enthalpy is a function of temperature only. So there is no part of liquid here. So you cannot throttle gas. Everybody is clear? Ask me doubt. Satyam is clear? अरे क्लियर हुआ सत्यम? Anybody more doubts? Rajat, Ravichandran, Nikhil, anybody? Tell me. If you don't ask, then how I will teach you? Right? It is you have to ask, man. I am very lazy guy. I cannot explain more. Because already I'm tired. I'm tired. But I will teach you. I mean, if you ask me, I will explain more. Okay, fine. Because I always feel you guys are intelligent. Is it clear, everybody? Everybody is clear? Compressed gases are semi-liquid and gas. Compressed gas. What is compressed gas here? Who says compressed semi-liquid and gas? I say compressed gas is a solid. Rajat, why it is liquid? I say it is solid. You take carbon dioxide, compress it, it will get that compress carbon dioxide will convert into solid ice, dry ice. That is your carbon dioxide ice. It will be very dry. So it is any state of the substance depends upon the temperature and pressure. But here I am talking about PV is equal to nRT. You can compress their kinetic energy, you can reduce, you can compress the molecule, you convert their movement, you can make it slow, right? Finally that gas will convert to liquid, liquid will convert into gas, solid. But carbon dioxide no directly converts from gas to solid. That is called dry ice, and that is used to make ice. I think I made you clear, Rajat. Now heat exchanger. Another application is heat exchanger. It is heat exchanger. Uh, so first law of thermodynamics you apply for heat exchanger. First study flow energy equation for heat exchanger. So you know heat exchanger, right? You are the master of heat exchanger. You have parallel flow, you have counter flow, you have a cross flow, LMTD, efficiency, effectiveness, everything, right? No, the heat exchanger will study in a heat and mass transfer, where you have to understand parallel flow, counter flow, cross flow, logarithmic mean temperature difference, that is right now is equal to theta 2 minus theta 1 by ln theta 2 by theta 1, right now. So theta 1 will be the temperature difference of hot fluid, cold fluid, hot fluid, cold fluid, right now. So here I'm not good, and then q will be equal to ua theta m, right? Then lot of things will study when I will be teaching you heat and heat exchanger. But here we are applying first law of thermodynamics. That is our idea. We are going to apply first law of thermodynamics. First law of thermodynamics. First law of thermodynamics. For this first law of thermodynamics for flow process. So a heat exchanger, you have a hot fluid and you have a hot fluid out. This is your hot fluid in, and hot fluid out. You know already out. It may be reverse direction also, but for simplicity, I have taken cold fluid in, cold fluid, fluid out. So right, it is going. It may be reverse direction. Our system is entire. This is our system. So system is our combined hot and cold fluid. So out from outside, and it is all insulated. So there is no heat interaction. From outside, no heat interaction. Means Q is equal to 0, right? And there is no also work interaction because there is no raising or lifting a weight. So W will be equal to 0 and Q heat interaction will be 0, and it is in the same level, same velocity, same, and Z1 is equal to Z2 because individually we are not treating. Here trick is you have to take system, your combined hot and cold fluid. Don't take separately because otherwise you will end up with a problem, right? So change in energy again, you will apply Q minus W is equal to delta E, right? No, so Q is equal to 0, W is equal to 0. So finally delta E, that is change in energy of the system. I am telling again, system is our cold fluid plus hot fluid. So you have to change in a enthalpy or energy, total energy, right? No, it may be kinetic energy, potential energy plus internal energy, right? So all energy. So cold fluid and your kinetic energy is 0, right? No, potential energy 0, so only internal energy will be there, change in internal energy, right? Cold fluid and hot fluid. So this is a change in internal energy of cold fluid and this is a change in energy of hot fluid. So M is your mass flow of cold fluid, where F stands for cold fluid. Okay, cold fluid, and you have G stand for hot fluid, generally gas. Okay, hot fluid, and then you have H, HF, Mg, MF, right now. Then is 2 stand for exit and 1 stand. So this is basically change in delta E of hot to cold fluid, and then plus change in a, so basically delta E of your hot cold plus delta E of what is that, hot. So just we have noted down this, and finally you are getting this. You can you can see, right? Now it is nothing. So we can say heat loss is equal to heat gain. Heat loss, finally this will come, heat loss is equal to heat gain. Generally directly you can write this, but we derived from first law, right? Now we derived from first law. So heat loss will be equal to mg 2 minus mg hg 1. That is, this is your heat loss. Heat gain will be mf hf 2 minus mf flow rate, generally flow rate, it is in flow rate, then hf 1. So this is right. Anybody doubt? Please ask, otherwise I will keep on teaching you. Advantage of live classes is only you can synchronize your, I mean, what you call you, what you're accepting. If you do, if you have any issue, you can ask. Now, nozzle is very important in a turbine, gas turbine, or you have a steam turbine, right? Steam turbine, you have rocket engine, rocket nozzle, right? So we'll adiabatic, Q is equal to 0. So this is our 1 1 again. This is 1 1, section 1 1, section 2 2, and then fluid is entering, fluid is exiting, right? Fluid is entering and exiting, again. So Z1 is equal to Z2 here, but if it is vertical, then it is not. Again, velocity here, you cannot, here importance of velocity only, importance of nozzle is to increase velocity. So C will be very low, and C2 will be very high. Sorry, very high. Here purpose is to increase the velocity only. So generally it is but neglected. But if it is mentioned, then okay, that you cannot neglect, right? So you have to increase the velocity. That is a basic function, because that nozzle high velocity fluid mass hits into the nozzle to the nozzle blades, and there is a change of momentum, and finally, according to Newton's second law of motion, the force acts on the blade, and finally blade rotates. So that is the purpose of nozzle, right? No, purpose of nozzle, basically, what is the purpose? To increase the velocity. But here potential energy is zero. So how it will increase the velocity? That we'll see. That we'll see. How that fellow increases velocity. So kinetic energy is not negligible. We cannot negligible Q adiabatic, but if it is mentioned, then you have to. So it is basically adiabatic. You have insulation, you have nitrile rubber with aluminum cladding, or we have foam, so it is no heat transfer, right? No insulation. There is no work transfer also, because no rise of weight. There is no work interaction is also zero. So finally, this will come. It's very small. Let me make it big. Right? So you know what is that? Sorry. Yeah. This is your W is equal to, sorry, Q is equal to 0, and this is W is equal to 0. This is your enthalpy difference, and this is your kinetic energy difference. Generally C1 we can put 0 if it is, because C2 will be greater than C1, and then change in enthalpy. If it is gas, then simply CPT. But if H is equal to U plus PV, internal energy, pressure and volume, right? Everybody is clear up to this? सबको समझ में आ गया? And everybody got? Where is our student? Everybody understood? Or I need to explain once again? Please solve this problem. Now problem. We'll solve some 5-7 problem. Please solve this problem. This closed system and open system problem will solve some 5 to 8. Closed system and open system. Open system problem we will solve. Open system. Just for practice. Practice problem. Practice. Please solve one by one. Okay, this problem was just to check you direction of heat and work interaction. It is a cyclic process, so delta E will be equal to also 0. So summation of heat interaction will be equal to summation of work interaction. Heat transfer positive, negative, positive, negative, sorry, positive, what is the number? So you can calculate. Second problem. A domestic refrigerator is loaded with the food and the door closed during a certain period of machine consumes 1 kilowatt. So W is 1 kilowatt hour, means 1 kilowatt into second, right? So 3600 kilowatt. So you have a refrigerator and you have a power. You have to supply power, so it is negative. So this is your negative. Find the net heat transfer. Domestic refrigerator loaded during a certain period of machine consumes energy and internal energy of same drops by this, means delta E is equal to minus kilojoule. Then what is Q? Means heat interaction is equal to what? So you apply Q minus W is equal to delta E, or Q minus W is equal to delta U. You can calculate Q is equal to W plus this, right? So you can calculate. So W is your minus 5000, and then this is your minus 3600. So it will come minus 8.6 megajoule. Very nice, Rajat. What about other guys? Please write the answer. 8.6 megajoule. It is very clear from the problem. A domestic refrigerator is loaded with the food and the door closed during a certain period of the machine consumes of energy, consumes when it takes or required, and the internal energy of the system drops by 5000 kilojoule. Internal energy drops. Find the net heat transfer from the system, means this much Q is leaked, means it is from surrounding to refrigerator. So here all ulta. Second problem. This problem. Now third problem. Please solve this problem. 1.5 kg. So solution. A 1.5 kg of liquid having constant space heat, this much is stirred in a well insulated chamber. So this is your chamber, and you have a stirring. Generally, stirring works. You give work that is converted into heat. Work is converted into heat. So you are giving W and heat will be generated. Right? So you take, this is your system. So there is a work interaction and insulated. So no heat interaction. Q is equal to 0. So whatever heat will be generated, that will increase internal energy. So Ms delta T is equal to W. Delta T is 15 degrees centigrade. So this is your work done. And you know Q minus W is equal to delta E. So here Q is equal to 0. So all work will be converted into change in internal energy. That is the reason it is here negative, here it is positive. Answer here is one is positive, other is negative. W is negative because we are doing work on the system, we are stirring, we are raising the temperature, but here it is, you have to understand that there is no heat transfer from outside. There is no heat interaction between system and surrounding. The heat is generated inside and that increases kinetic energy. of the molecules, or finally we can say raising the temperature, because the temperature is related to the velocity of molecules. So delta E and work done. Everybody understood? This is clear? Steering problem? Tell me, man. Another problems are waiting. I will give you the list of problem. Tomorrow again there will be class, and now I am active, and I will soon send you all this what you call materials. Again, I will try to take more classes here. Let us see what happens. No, what is that, Satyam? You didn't understood? You didn't understand this? ये समझा कि नहीं समझा? Okay, fine. No problem, man. Because you were not concentrating. That's the problem. Anyway, I repeat it. How syllabus will be completed here? You have to concentrate. So it is a problem is very simple. A 15 kg of liquid having a constant specific heat. This much is stirred in a well insulated chamber, causing temperature rise to rise by 15 degrees. So you have one chamber, you have a liquid, and you have one exterior, right now, and you rotate it, and finally means you are giving work is done. Again, everything is insulated means from inside there is no heat transfer. Inside or outside we can say Q is equal to 0, means no heat interaction from or to the system. Now what we observe, we put a temperature thermometer, and when we stir it, we found that temperature 15 degree centigrade temperature is more now. So ms, so this work done is used basically to increase the temperature, that is ms delta t. Mass is given, this is given, delta t is given, so you can calculate w is equal, and this is w is equal to ms delta t. And because work is done on the system, so it is negative. And again, you know, q minus w is equal to delta E. So q is equal to 0 because there is no heat interaction from or to the system from outside. So this all w will be changed into, so minus w is equal to delta E. So this comes 56 minus 56.25. So delta E will be positive, means, and this is your positive, this is your negative. This is your positive, this is your. So basically steering case, when you steer something, all work goes or is wasted to increase the temperature of the substance, of the material of the system. There is no heat interaction. Outside heat interaction is not there, heat is generated. Now please solve this problem. A blower handles 1 kilogram second of air at 20 degrees centigrade. Please consumes a power of this. So you have a blower. Blower, you know what is blower? It is a fan basically. So you have a casing and you have fan. And you have one inlet, and you have an outlet. So basically you have inlet and you have outlet. Blower. This is your blower. Blower is used to flow air with a high velocity. Air blower means it displaces. What is the difference between compressor, simple ceiling fan, and blower? What is the difference? So compress 1.1. If pressure ratio is more than 1.11, we call it is compressor. When pressure ratio is more than 1.1, we call it is fan or blower. So basically this two is used to displace the air. No compression, only displacement. And this compressor to compress, to increase the pressure. 1.1, 10%. Okay. If I unmute you all, what happens? Let us see. You can unmute. Okay. If you have doubt, you can ask me. Unmute. You can unmute. Okay. %, more pressure rise, that we call compressor. And when we are just displacing the fluid from one place to another place with very high discharge, that is your blower, and low discharge is fan. So you have a blower. So you have a blower. So this is your in and this is your out. So it is your control volume process. Control volume. A blower handles 1 kilogram of air at 20 degrees centigrade, consumes a power of 15 kilowatt. So it consumes work. So W is equal to here minus 15 kilowatt because consumption is there. Mass flow rate is 1 kilogram per second. 20 degrees centigrade temperature is, let us write 20 degrees centigrade, and inlet and out velocity of air this much and this much. Okay, no issue. C1 is your 100 meter per second and C2 is your what? M2 is equal to M1 both. Okay, C2, what is that? C2 is 150 meter per second. Find the exit air temperature assuming adiabatic condition. Means adiabatic condition means Q is equal to 0. So you know, just find H2. Just find H2, then Cp T2 minus T1. Then you can calculate T2. So here they are asking you to find temperature. In fact, they are asking you to calculate enthalpy. Once you got the enthalpy, you can calculate T2. Am I right? Just calculate H2 minus H1. So it will be your Cp T2 minus T1. You know what is T1? T1 is 20 degrees centigrade. You just calculate this. Cp, you know, Cp of the air is given 1.005 kilojoule per kg Kelvin. whether concept you understood, everybody concept understood. W is minus, Q is equal to 0, Q is equal to 0. Why Q is equal to 0? Because it is adiabatic condition, right? Q is equal to 0. Then calculate H2 minus H1, and that will be equal to Cp T2 minus T1. Then temperature you can find. Everybody understood, right? Okay, now next. First we'll solve easy problem, then we'll move to little tough problem. Because I see gate no never ask a tough question. I am telling you. Oh, please now you solve your all gate question. Then you will feel that, oh my god, this they are asking very easy question, but in examination to solve that easy question is challenging. Okay, so now this problem will solve the flow energy. The flow energy, uh, sorry, yeah, the flow energy of a fluid crossing a boundary to a system is 18 kilowatt. So flow energy or flow energy is given 18 kilowatt. Means your system, you have one boundary, this much fluid is to be cross the boundary, means you have pressure P1, here pressure P2, right now? Here pressure P1. So, uh, flow work is equal to what? PV, right? PV. So find the pressure at that point. We know volume flow rate. So flow work will be equal to what? 18 kilowatt is equal to pressure into volume. That is a flow energy. Flow energy is per minute, right? No meter. So it is a flow energy. This is your flow rate. This is meter cube per second, right? So you can write what this is your flow energy. I mean, this is your work done, W. So this is equal to PV. So V is given to you. Find the pressure at this point. Answer. This is your answer. Answer is 8.71. So just volume pressure is equal to 18 kilowatt divided by V. 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 Right? This V you convert into 0.124 divided by 60 because this is in kilowatt. So this will also come in a kilowatt. So this you can calculate. It is in a kilowatt, right? Now kilowatt, and this will be a meter cube per second. So finally, it will be watt is your kilowatt is meter, right? No meter. You can convert, right? No, that finally it will come Newton meter square. Newton meter square. It is very easy problem. Just to how to calculate flow work. So you know the pressure and volume. Flow energy is given. That is actually basically flow work. Work is also energy. Work energy both are same, right? No. If it is rate form, then we call it power. Yes, yes, at 8.71, right? Okay, so I will one more problem will discuss. What is that problem? Inogel, this problem. a nozzle is device for increasing the velocity of steadily flowing stream. So it is very clear now. As I said, nozzle basic importance is to increase the velocity by consuming potential energy, by consuming heat, total energy. So a steady flow stream at the inlet to certain nozzle, the enthalpy of flowing of fluid flowing is this one, and velocity is this. At the discharge, enthalpy now has reduced. Right now, earlier it was 3000 kilojoule per kg. Now it is at 2762. The nozzle is horizontal, means no datum. There is negligible heat loss from it. Negligible means Q is equal to 0. Find the velocity as exit, because as I said, nozzle work is to increase the velocity, and we are interested in the exit velocity. So exit velocity will be change in enthalpy plus initial kinetic energy. Then if the inlet area is this much and the specific volume at this, find the mass flow rate. You can calculate the mass flow rate. If the specific volume at the nozzle is this, find the exit area of the nozzle. It is very, just you have to apply, right? Mass, yes, I write mass is equal to, where that? Okay, fine. So this is your, at the inlet to certain nozzle, enthalpy means H1 is 3000 kilojoule per kg, and enthalpy of fluid passing is H2 is, or velocity C1 is equal to 60 meter per second. Put the value, get the answer. H2 is 2762 kilojoule per kg. So you have to find C2 is equal to what? The nozzle is horizontal, so this is same. Exit velocity you have to find, right? To exit velocity you have to find. Q is equal to 0, W is equal to 0. So H2 minus H1, right? You know, we have already discussed, is equal to half C2 square minus half C1 square. So this C1 you cannot neglect 0, because C1 is given. So H2, H1 is given, so you can calculate C2. C2 you can calculate. Now inlet, so mass flow, steady flow, this flow is steady, so mass flow rate will remain same, and that is equal to rho AV. That is your density, that is your area, and then it is your specific volume. So specific volume, this is rho AV, you can calculate. That is, density is your mass per unit volume, MQ, into area is meter square, and specific volume is meter cube per kg. So finally kg cancel, right? Now meter cube, what is that? Mass per unit volume. Mass per unit volume. This is your, this will be cancelled, so it will be meter square, right? Rho AB. This is your velocity. Sorry. This is velocity. This is your velocity. This is your velocity. And 1 by rho is your specific volume. 1 by rho is your specific volume. This is your velocity C1. So M1 dot, this is equal to 1 by specific volume. Yes, then 1. Then you have a area A1, suppose, and then you have rho A C1, and then mass flow M2 will be equal to same, that is rho 2 into A2 into C2. Conservation of mass or continuity equation. So you can find the inlet area is this much, 0.1 meter square, and specific volume at the inlet is given. So inlet, this is given, C1 is known, right? No, so you can calculate mass flow rate, find the mass flow rate. It will be same. Specific volume at the exit nozzle is this. Now you can see specific volume has increased, because now it has expansion is there. Find the exit area of the nozzle. So nothing, you can find all this. Easy. Put the value, get the answer. Put the value. Here what you have to note, what you have to find the mass specific volume is given, because you know mass is equal to What is that? Mass is equal to rho AV, rho AC, right now. So mass flow rate is equal to density into area into velocity. So it will be specific volume into area or into C1. That's the point. And that is equal to 1 by specific volume into area A1, A2 into C2. Everybody is clear? Very easy problem. So now tomorrow we'll having class. Okay, tomorrow we'll